Often on the clock with John, Nez, and Pete. We're going to play a little game at the top of the show. Some blind items with Coachspeak quotes. Let's see how on top of it we are, if we can identify which players are being discussed with these quotes, and then maybe decipher whether it's interesting or actionable or something we should discard. And then we will hop in a Best Ball Mania draft. We've been doing a lot of the side contests, a lot of the different formats. Let's get back to our roost, a little BBM action. I'm Pete, off and on the clock. Let's go. All right, fellas. I feel like when I've been writing the Fantasy Life newsletter the past couple days, it's like been pretty slow news-wise. I mean, last week we had the big Steelers stuff, Darren Waller, and now it's like we're really in a crickets period right now, it feels like.
Yeah. That's why this game is going to be so much fun. You know, we get to rehash some of the stuff and double count it and, you know, maybe overreact a little bit. So I'm excited.
John, how are you doing? We're all fresh off of multiple 4th of July festivities.
Yeah, doing well. Can't complain. Life's good. Enjoying some sunshine and such. Yeah, it's all just a waiting game right now until the camp stuff starts. Like the biggest news thing this week was, hey, camp locations and what time camp or what time certain teams are going to be reporting and whatnot. So yeah, that's truly a lull when that's the high point of the week in football talk.
Seriously. Yeah. But it's also, we are blessed as usual with the lobby having so many things to draft right now. It's like I was having fun over the weekend. It'd be like I was doing my dachshunds. I only got in a couple chihuahuas because I'm still, in eliminator mode. So whenever I can get one of those filled, I hop in there. But man, it's like I feel like you got to keep your head on a swivel because there's just so much I want to draft right now.
I actually did a bit of an experiment. It didn't work out as well as I wanted to, but I did auto the $4 and the
Chihuahua.
The Chihuahua, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The Chihuahua and the Dachshund. Did some ranks. I put like 150 players in ranks, basically trying to go zero RB.
Yeah,
and then had some like major RB targets at the back there. The reason it didn't work out as well as I wanted to is it's a lot of like decent QB1 and like Anthony Richardson on like all of these teams. So didn't quite get the QB2 set up as well as I wanted to. But I mean, I like the idea of like, okay, I like these zero RB targets. Let me just like rank like Brashard Smith way too high. Taj Brooks way too high, and just get like a bunch of these guys just in case they happen to go off.
It's kind of a fun idea, dude.
Yeah, I was going to
$100. I don't know.
Yeah. What other did you monitor at all? Did you do batches and adjust at all, or what other kind of tweaking did you do?
Yeah, I batched in like 10, and 5. I did 10, went to bed, woke up, and I was like, oh, let's see how those turned out. And I'm like, okay, I think I need to maybe put some more QBs higher in the ranks. So I tried to get a second QB there, and it didn't quite work out when I did the next 10. And then after that, I did 5, and I was like, all right, let me just make sure I don't end up with like 100% Anthony Richardson in the Chihuahua, just because that wasn't the point of the exercise. But I thought it was kind of fun. If I find like a decent team, I'll maybe I'll share one with you guys.
Yo, structurally, how'd it come out, dude? Like, did you come out with like some stacks and stuff? Did you come out with positional caps and stuff?
A couple times with some stacks. I went like basically like I think I tried to stop it at 2 tight ends, but it was like 6 wide receivers and 8 running backs were my positional allocations for running back and wide receiver. Like I stopped at 6 wide receiver no matter what.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one thing. I only got to a couple Chihuahuas, but from my experience, and I believe I saw some other people referencing this in one of the Discord channels, that the quarterbacks were going at like more of a premium in the Chihuahuas for some reason. And like I was looking at one of my teams, and I had to take Geno Smith and like the 140s, and I was having to reach for. I have Richardson on both of my teams too, because I'm like, fuck, I need a QB3 here because I kept getting boxed out. So I don't know, something over 4th of July weekend had people quarterback crazy.
It's also probably the demographic of drafters, right? Like, a little boozed up on the long weekend, sitting by the grill there, and I just got to get my quarterback right now, kind of deal.
Speaking of drafter demographic, right now, man, I think the biggest example of drafter demographic is Bijan flipping Saquon right now in ADP.
Yeah,
I'm the Bijan guy, man. I don't know that I can take Bijan over Saquon on underdogfantasy.com after what we just saw last year. I mean, it's half point PPR website, man. Those receptions are not going to, I don't think, carry the boats as much as they need to. Like that, this seems a bridge too far.
I think there's a couple of things there. There's the normie brain of like Madden cover curse, 420 plus touches last year coming into this year. And then there's the gal brain best ball bro guys who are like Falcons go Burr, fastest tempo up pace team on the planet right now. Right. So I think both of them are arriving at the same conclusion 2 different ways. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm just saying, I think that's how it's happening.
Yeah. I'm with Nez. It strikes me as a little weird. I think because Bijan has, I think it's safe to say he has a higher floor than Barkley. Where if you just say, hey, if these long touchdowns regress, but I think it's kind of crazy to think that he has a higher ceiling than him. It just, I mean, we just saw how it played out. And I've been a little disappointed by Bijan's like big play ability so far, like what you get from Gibbs, what you get from Barkley of just like anytime they touch the ball, they can rip off a 60-yard run. And so if you're not getting that, it does feel a little con to me to me to take Bijan over Barkley.
Which is kind of weird to say because I don't think we would have ever said that last year.
No,
we'd be like,
weren't.
oh, Bijan's the huge house call swing guy, right?
I was passing on Saquon sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times in a draft.
the takes taste different after a little crow was eaten. My
point is, I think that can flip. Sorry, that's my point. I think that can flip as once normies get back in. I think normies gonna be like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, give me Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it is like quintessential, July drafting, right? It's like I got Barkley at pick 6 on Best Ball Breakfast yesterday, where it's just like people coming in slamming wide receivers. Like no one wants to pay last year's price. I was listening to ADP Chasing this morning, and I loved what Jacob said about Bowers. He was talking about how Bowers is almost being punished by his own success, where it's like people feel like there's no meat on the bone for him to even do more, even though he just like had a generational rookie year, quarterback upgrades. But it's like, it's easier to wish cast a jump on a player who underperformed. You can say like, whoa, what if Rome like is a 2nd round receiver? I almost feel like it's similar with Barkley, where it's like, we just had like the peak pinnacle season and it's almost impossible for him to replicate that. It does, but it's like you could have 80%, 85% of what he did last year, and he still would be a smash, at 1, 2, 1, 3. But in our heads, it's like, I don't want to buy the fucking top. I want to chase someone else who's going to have that, 2,000 yard season or whatever.
It's because so many of us would rather be right than win. Like we'd rather be right on like that next emergence guy of like, yo, I got 30% Jalen Waddle and he went 2 rounds. He outperformed by 2 rounds. Like, I don't even fucking care if I won any money this year. Like, I got it right.
Yeah. What any other, before we play a little game here, any other kind of trends in lobbies and stuff that is that's interesting to you guys with what you've been drafting?
The only thing that I was thinking about there when you were talking about the Bowers thing is how funny it is to juxtapose that to last year with Marvin Harrison, to think we weren't buying the top. And now we've seen the top from a guy and we don't want to spend it again. Maybe because he's a tight end, I guess. I don't know. But if he was a wide receiver, would we be taking him at the 1-2 turn every single time, right? Like, just interesting to think through the dynamics of how we view Bowers this year versus how we viewed Marvin Harrison last year.
Yeah. Only other thing that I've seen is like people are buying this Najee Harris rumor. Like, he's falling like quite a bit.
Yeah, so for people, tell people, Nez, because I saw this in Discords. I made a joke about it on the Soulcast. Like, I have not seen anything remotely substantiated, but it is being passed around.
There's a lot of word of mouth. I mean, it came from one of our very own members, JBB, was the first I've heard of it. So that's why I was like, oh shit, if JBB, this is the first I've heard of it, and now other people are talking about it. What they are saying is that Najee Harris was impacted in the face with a firework. And they're saying that he lost. They went as far as to get specific and say that he lost an orbital, that he lost an eye. Now, mind you, this is not even alleged. This is straight up a rumor. It's not even alleged, like, officially. It's just a rumor. But like, he's falling in drafts by like a round because of this.
That's wild, man. I didn't even know this. I had no idea until Pete said it on the Swolecast in the thing. But we got JGFC just beat me to the joke in the chat there that he's Galbrain Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis just came out with that eye injury like half an hour ago as well, that he was playing with a detached retina this year.
Ouch.
So yeah, man. I don't know. I that's crazy if it's true. Maybe we're all just we're all scarred from the JPP days back in the day. Like we've like, oh, yo, this has happened to a guy who was really good before.
There also is like, it'd be a fascinating psychology study if you do it. A player that everyone doesn't tend to like in Najee, and then a player everybody likes. Like, let's do Drake May and Najee Harris each had a fireworks incident. And it's like Najee gets punished like a round and a half in draft. And everyone's like, Drake May as a Pirate still probably fine. Like I'll just let it rip.
Everybody's gonna run more.
Yo, Drake May looks explosive.
There you go.
Oh my god. All right, so we're gonna play a little game here. Each of us kind of poked around for some Coachspeak nuggets, and we've made them blind items. Basically removing the actual player's name, and we thought it'd be fun to see if we could stump each other, and also figure out if we could actually decipher who some of these are here. So I'm gonna go to our group chat and pull some of these. John, this was yours here. I'm going to pull it up on screen. Why don't you read it, and then Nez and I will try to take some guesses.
Okay, cool. Do you guys want any? Oh, I'm not. Never mind. No precursors here. XXX blots out the name. There, plays with great contact balance. He's tough as nails. You can use him in a variety of ways. He can catch and run routes. He has very good vision and quick feet. 220-pound. Who runs with power and toughness and personality.
Do you want to go first, Nez, or should we both just like talk this out?
Yeah, let's collab on this. So I think that this is like one of two players. I think John like went straight for the brand and either chose Najee Harris or Cam Skattebo here. But like, is Najee 220 or is he Najee's bigger than 220, right?
Yeah, I mean, we both agree this has to be a running back. Saying can catch and run routes, very good vision. The vision is hilarious right after the firework rumor. But John didn't even know about the firework when he pulled this.
What do you think?
I like the Najee guess a lot. He's tough as nails. You can use him in a variety. It doesn't seem like a rookie to me. It sounds like a veteran.
Okay.
You can use him in a variety. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. I do feel like Najee is a good guess. Do you have any others?
No. Those are my two. Like immediately, what came to me whenever he read that.
What do you think, John?
It is Cam Skattebo.
Oh, it's a rookie. Wow.
That was Brian Dable talking about Skattebo there. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking there's kind of a theme to my stuff, so maybe I won't give it away yet. But I was thinking through like some potential, camp scenarios that I'm excited to see, who's getting the hot hand, who's getting the lead. Guys, I'm excited to see it in the preseason kind of thing. And just going back through the archives of the Coachspeak Index stuff. Also very fitting that we're doing this prior to us going on the show with him tomorrow. That's kind of a fun crossover there. But Brian Dable said that about Cam Skattebo. Just in that intermittent window between post-draft and start of OTA stuff.
Very good. All right, so we John gets a point for stumping us. Nez, here's your first one. Why don't you read this for us here?
All right. Yeah. So every day you see him shine in different ways. It's so cool to see him attack a zone and attack leverage different ways on his releases. You can coach off that stuff. He makes plays every day. Who is this about, guys?
So sounds like a slot wide receiver, right, John?
I was about to say, I feel like I've read this one, and I think it's Christian Kirk. Like, I think it's like a veteran ass dude who like the team's not overhyping because they've seen it before, but they're like building off of it. I liked that your mind went straight to slot wide receiver.
Yeah, and my guess was going to be like a Demario Douglas type guy here, kind of veteran, attack leverage different ways on his release. Although I don't think anyone ever heard talk about Demario Douglas's releases. So it does make me wonder if it's like someone a little more explosive in sudden. I'm gonna actually have an off the wall guess. This feels to me like almost Brian Thomas, where he's talking about someone else who's added another level to their game, who is already like a baller. I'm going to say Brian Thomas.
There's one word in here that's throwing me for a loop now. Attack leverage. Leverage is throwing me for a loop now, that it makes me think it's a guy with size, not a guy like Christian Kirk. But I'm going to stick with the original Christian Kirk there.
All right, guys. So this comes from Dave Canales, head coach of the Panthers, talking about Hunter Renfrow.
What? So our first inclination of a slot wide receiver was right. He's attacking leverage.
Dude, you were spot on. Wow. Bro. There's like multiple quotes about Hunter Renfrow from Dave Canales this offseason.
That is crazy.
I'm just saying.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, I'm going to be haunted by that quote anytime I click Jalen Coker. Like, at the end of a draft, I would be like, fuck.
You'll hear him say these things about the Coke man.
Was Hunter Renfrow a complete, like, DNP last year? Like, it was, like, coach's decision, DNP, nobody wanted him kind of deal? Like, he wasn't on a practice squad or anything, was he?
No, I don't know if he was, like, seeking out, like, a team. He kind of had, like, an off year. Is like my understanding, and now he like came back and he's been like training and he's ready to go and he's playing.
It said it was injury related. I just looked this up. Ulcerative colitis.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
like
I don't know if I pronounced that right. Yeah, so he stepped away after being released, and he had a stretch through 7 straight days of 103-degree fevers. He was wondering if he'd never play anymore. I felt so bad those 2 years, and I felt like I let my teammates down. And so, now he's back. So, injury related there.
Dude,
I did not know that.
That's crazy.
I love that one. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that.
That was the deepest of deep dives. That was good.
Okay, I got one for you guys here. I did not post this one in our group chat, so this will be a surprise here. So X is a fierce competitor. That's what I love about him. When the lights are bright, you know exactly what you're going to get. If you tell him you need 1 yard or 4 yards or whatever it is, he's going to find a way to put his shoulder down and move the pile and get that done for you. So obviously a little positional hint there, but who do you guys think this is?
Fierce competitors. What I love about him when the lights are. John, what do you got here?
I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to think of like a guy who's kind of like a bigger back nails guy who it's like he's just gonna keep grinding for you no matter what. It feels more veteran than rookie though.
Yeah, because like he's played under bright lights. If you need 1 or 4. Whatever it is. So like you're not asking a whole lot. You're just asking for 1 or 4 in a scrum here.
Yeah.
I kind of thought like Dobbins for some reason, but what do you think?
No, that's a kind of a pretty good guess. Like, there'd be new quotes about him just joining the team, like that sort of thing. Fits the veteran thing. I was gonna go same angle with a veteran one, and because of the word competitor, Pete Carroll loves to throw that one out. I'm going Raheem Mostert as a backup Vegas running back here, who's like, he's just impressed seeing him for the first time as a guy who's been around.
So Purple Yosh got it in the chat. It is DeAndre Swift.
Whoa.
Which I thought was a bit of a red herring, because that is just like not how any of us think about DeAndre Swift. Like, knowing what you're going to get, you tell him 1 yard or 4 yards and he's going to get it. So there you go.
When has he ever played when the lights are bright? He's never played in a bright lights game in his life.
Yeah, which I think part of this exercise, we all love Greg over at the Coachspeak, but when you go through so many of these, you do start to realize how much fluff and how much of gassing up, just blind gassing up of these guys you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. This one is back to one of John's. This one cuts off a little bit here, John, so you can finish this. But someone who's in the gym early.
Yeah, I like this one. So I took some creative liberties here, and I took the first part prior to the ... is the OC talking about him, and then the second part is the coach talking about him.
Okay.
So he's out there at 4:30 in the morning, putting in extra time that no one asks him to put in. I've seen him grow from rookie mini camp on, and then ... This is the next one. I've seen a lot of growth from blank. You see poise, the fundamental stuff. What we're asking with footwork, timing, and reads. He's earning his feeling of confidence heading into the summer. There was also another really bullish one after this that I'll save.
I think I know this one. I could be way off, but do you know this one, Nez?
It sounds familiar. It's totally a rookie quarterback. Totally a rookie quarterback. Who do you think it is?
Well, I heard the nugget about Cam Ward getting into the facility really early, so that definitely triangulates kind of my guess as well.
Yeah, that's sort of where I was at.
This is a little bit more scroll the F down than that.
Wow.
It's Jalen Milroe. And,
oh, that's right.
Good pull.
I knew that.
You threw us off.
I knew I heard this before.
And the further quote in which they were talking about was if he could upseat Sam Darnold as QB1 before the season. And they said, no, you guys are crazy. That's a crazy question. It's not going to happen. He's our starting quarterback, but we love this kid so much. He's doing a tremendous job. So it was kind of like this double, things are looking really great. They're thinking about him in the future, but no, Sam Darnold's still the guy.
Wow. All right. So who the rookie quarterbacks, Tyler Shuck's on watch, right? Because all these other guys are getting to the facility at 4:30 a.m. No, because I listened.
Shuck's still doing his hair. Man, that flow's got to be. It takes at least an hour in the morning.
It's so good. All right, Nez, this is your second one here. The one in the chat was long, so you can read as much as you want.
Okay.
But yeah, here you go.
So yeah, this is just like off the rip, a very deep one. But I still thought that there's a lot of like really good stuff.
Well, my bad. I had posted mine in there on accident. Let me get yours up here first. That's the one. Blank keeps flashing. Okay. Yeah.
One last thing on the. Sorry, I just wanted to say one last thing on the Milroe thing that I forgot. That there's like a little note that I made. Is they've been mixing him in with the first team and the first team reps. That's why they'll just blindly throw him in. That's why I thought it was interesting. Anyways.
Yeah.
My bad.
All right.
Yeah, they're doing that with Dart too. I've seen so to like keep him on his toes.
Nice.
But yes, this quote here, like I said, it's a deep dive, but there's like, I mean, this is like the coach speak of all coach speak. So this guy keeps flashing, keeps showing up, and they're big plays. They're chunk plays. Sometimes you have to kick rookies. We'll just go ahead and state that because this is tough. We'll kick rookies out of the building, and he's the poster guy for that. That kind of drive is showing up on the field, and we love it. All the contested catches, all the catches on the boundary, the assortment of routes, the catches in the middle of the field, and the catch radius. He's shown up and been what we thought, was a real competitor, a real football player, and that's what we're getting. Thrilled. He was a wide receiver that got moved to tight end. I'll give you that. And I can see that this guy is a willing blocker. We're going to help him. We're seeing that he can do everything and that we're hoping that he can do in the receiving game. Pretty excited about him.
Wow. So rookie tight end who converted from wide receiver. Man, I mean, Fannin was basically used as a glorified wide receiver. Arroyo was a big time pass catcher. Could we get
I don't know who converted. Yet? My mind went to Arroyo, but I don't know who's converted.
Yeah. Ferguson would be another one. Gadsden, Aronde Gadsden, those are like the rookie tight ends that are in play here. I don't think Nez is sick enough to go to like Gunnar Helm level here. I'll say Terrence Ferguson.
Let's roll with it.
John?
I'm with Pete. Let's roll with it.
Yeah, so we are we're talking about Aronde Gadsden here.
Okay. All right, Gadsden. Wow.
Yeah, this was the rookie from the Chargers, who there's a lot of ambiguity in the tight end room for the Chargers. I mean, we all know Disley, we know Conklin by name, but I mean, I haven't seen a single piece of bullish coach speak about anybody in the NFL like I've seen about Aronde Gadsden in these quotes. And I mean, I know Harbaugh just fucking loves his guys. Mm-hmm. This is crazy, man. This is a lot.
Yeah, that is a good one. All right, here's my second one for you guys. Blank was really more of an injury thing that he fought through last year. He's been here. He's worked his tail off. He's one competitive dude. I think he's had some good days out here. And then the rest of the coach, it's been fun to kind of see him get that confidence back. Who is this about?
Okay, trying to think of somebody, clearly a veteran who's been with the team multiple years here, Nez, and injured last year.
This is a very light clue. I'll just say this quote came from the GM.
Really more than injury thing that he fought through last year.
I got one, but
I think I know this.
Okay, I maybe it's not long enough. I was gonna say Devin Singletary, as like a guy that like the GM liked. They brought him in. Then now they call him Motor. He's competitive, and he was battling stuff last year.
I think I know this, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I know I've read this before. Let's go with Singletary, but I think this is like a second year player, I think.
So some people in the chat, very directionally accurate. It's not Keon Coleman, although Brandon Beane did have quotes about him bouncing back from injury. It's Dalton Kincaid is who he was talking about here, kind of chalking up his poor performance to the injury. He also said he's added strength and bulk. He's stronger. You can see the confidence in the knee and the body out there, even from 3 or 4 weeks ago. So some bullish Dalton Kincaid health coach speak there.
I mean, I'm maybe not watching enough Liam because surely he's read that out loud 15 times or something.
You would think. Let's do one more round of these.
Okay.
Let's get one up here. John, do you have a preference on it looks like you have 2 more. You want another veteran player or has been terrific from day one?
Okay. Another veteran player. Let's do that one because I thought it was kind of a fun scroll the F down idea. The other one was that we're not going to do was about Omarion Hampton complimenting Najee Harris. So you guys were directionally accurate on your first guess there. Okay, another veteran player that has had success in this league. We've gone against him, so I know what type of player he is, having been in the division with him, so know his skill set. But another veteran player. I understand that there are things that happened in the past, but I'm really focused on today and the future for blank.
Wow, so we got a free agent who changed teams and went to the same division. Or the same division, or no? Having been in the division with him.
We've gone against him. I know what type of player he is. Is it no?
Could it be Dobbins? Is the one that came to mind of a Charger to the Broncos.
Yeah, no, Dobbins is a really good one.
G's saying Metcalf in the chat, same division. It would have to be whoever gave this quote was also moved,
Yeah. Could it be an okie doke?
Oh, the chat also, someone mentioning Diggs. We've gone against him, so I know what type of player he is, having been in the division with him.
I don't want you guys to get derailed. It is a head coach who has not moved, and he's speaking about someone that's opposed them in the division.
Here's the thing. John said scroll down, though, so I don't even think it's Diggs or Dobbins. That's not scroll down. I think this is deep for John.
Dude, this is bothering me. So I know it's a good player.
No,
it's a veteran. Is it? No. I was gonna say, it wouldn't be DeAndre Hopkins.
Man, who's someone that's sub 200? Nick Westbrook? No, because that was a different division.
Can we get a position?
It has to be a wide. Is it a wide receiver?
It's a wide receiver.
Okay. I don't know why that's where my head went to. Oh, there's a good guess in the chat. I see now. Deontay.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson.
Wow. Yeah.
Dude.
We've all just forgot that, like, obviously the quarterback situation isn't sussed out yet, but like we all just forgot because of how that season ended that we were playing him every damn week in those daily contests last year for Carolina for the first 8 weeks, right? Like back to back to back. 100.
Dude, he had a great week with Andy Dalton. Like just last year, he had a great week with Andy Dalton. As recent as last year.
Well, that one was tricky too because I was still thinking of him as a Texan, you know, in my head, because that was who he last played for, and you had to go back to him being on 8 different teams before.
Oh my
God. Is crazy. All right, that was a good one. All right, Nez, here is your last one here. This one, right? He's always had the same role.
Yes. Okay. So he's always had the same role. He's a big time matchup problem. He's able to move the chains on third down. He's primarily used in the pass game for us. He grew a little bit in the run game department last year. He's become more of a complete blank. That's his position, more of a complete position. I feel good about the connection that grew between quarterback and this player at the end of last year. He's super talented. That's always going to be the thing that gives you hope on this guy. The opportunities will present themselves again for him. I've got a lot of belief in him.
Sounds like third down pass catching running back, right, Pete?
It is a pass catcher. I'm going to just steer you off that.
Because I was going to say, I feel good about the connection that grew between the QB and him. He's always had the same role. He's able to move the chains on third down, primarily been used in the pass game for us. So I think that has to be a tight end, right? If they're making the qualifier, that the alternative would be inline blocking, right?
Nice.
So he grew a little bit in the run game department. He's become more of a complete tight end. I feel good about that connection.
Okay, I got it. I think it's one of two guys. I think it's Theo Johnson or JT Sanders.
Those are great guesses. Yeah, man, I remember there was some bullish ass Theo Johnson Coachspeak last year. Remember he was having him watch Gronk film? Yeah, that's a good guess. Let's go with Theo.
So just like a nugget, man, I am like 60% or 60 drafts in on Superflex that I've completed. I have 40% Theo Johnson. This isn't Theo Johnson. This is spicy. Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. Wow. It was there all along. Wow. Dude. That's incredible.
I don't know. He's back.
That ruined my day.
That is good.
I mean, at least it's not like he needs to work more. He needs to figure out how to stay on the field. It's just like the connection was there. He's a matchup problem. We know he's an asset. He's ADP 150 on Underdog. I cut off that quote. But
what Zach Robinson talking about his Underdog ADP? He's like, it's criminal.
Totally undervalued by the market.
Yeah. How far away do you think we are from a reporter asking a coach about a player's ADP?
Dude, I honestly, like if Underdog could be like the hub for to get credentials, and like they have a beat reporter in-house at like every single venue, like I don't think it's far at all. I don't think it's far-fetched at all.
Do you know the way because coaches would have like no frame of reference whatsoever, but what you'd have to do is just do a player for player comparison. Like you'd have to say, you say to Zach Robinson, it's like, who should go higher in a draft? Kyle Pitts or Dallas Goedert, or like ask him like a head to head and then see which one he says.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a last one from me here. I don't know why anyone would be surprised by this player's ability. You talk about a guy that's a home run threat, a guy that's got incredible ability to hurt you running and catching the ball out of the backfield here. And then it cut off, and let me pull up the rest of the quote here. He's the right type of guy. He fits into what we're trying to build as a culture from a work ethic standpoint. This was the head coach on this.
Okay, so this is a running back.
Yeah, pass catching running
Yep.
back. Sounds like not the lead guy though. Like this is not what you say about your lead guy. This is what you say about like the change of pace guy or whatever. My mind went to Jalen Wright and Trey Benson. Like as like he's trying to hype up the second role because the first role is so solidified. But we know this other guy can be like change of pace, home run threat, but also can catch the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I think where I'm and I don't have like an answer, but what I'm thinking here is this context kind of to me says like this player has shown something before, and like Jalen Wright and Trey Benson haven't necessarily shown anything yet. So that's where my head is at, but like
Chat Keaton Mitchell's a cool guess.
I know, I saw that. I'm ignoring it.
Yeah.
I will say this. Somebody in the chat has gotten it right.
They've gotten it right already?
Yeah, someone in the chat got it.
Oh, no. I'm not going to look now.
This is a very funny guess, Jerry talking about Zeke at dinner.
Nice. Very well done.
I'm tainted. I've seen too many names pop up, so I'll just end up guessing one of those.
All right. I will say the Jerry joke answer is directionally accurate because this is Brian Schottenheimer on Miles Sanders. You talk about a guy who's a home run threat. That's like the DeAndre Swift thing where it's just like what I see of this guy on the field does not match up with your description there.
Dude, that's wild. I mean, I lived through the Schottenheimer experience with the let Russ cook era here or whatever. I'm not sure he knows what a home run threat is. Like based on that.
It's hilarious. Pretty classic behavior there from Schottenheimer. So yeah, I think a valuable exercise to just take a little bit of pause when we read these Coachspeak things. And shout out, I don't know where you guys got them. I was in the Coachspeak Index Discord, so I appreciate it.
Same. Likewise.
Yep. Yes.
But just for fun here.
Yeah.
What do you think the longest rush Miles Sanders had last season was? He had 55 carries for 205 yards last season. What was the longest carry he had?
I'd be shocked if he ripped one off more than 20. I'll say like 16 yards.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 22 yards.
Yeah, it's 26 yards. Like I thought it'd be like 15 or 16. He did. Okay, this is way back, like years 1 and 2. 65-yarder, 82-yarder house call. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he did have a little bit of juice back in the day that I'm misremembering here.
Well, back in the day, yeah, on the Eagles for sure. But
we talk about these guys like they're so fucking old, and this guy's like 27.
The rapid perception that running backs go through. Like even today on the Swolecast, I was talking about Jerick McKinnon and just like how like in late stage Jerick McKinnon, you're almost like they give this kind of like slower pass catching back. It was like the most athletic dude in the league when he came in. We've done like the roller coaster with Tony Pollard perception. We're kind of doing it with Devon Achane now. It's wild how quickly we think of these guys differently.
Miles Sanders was born in who?
Austin Eckler.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Miles Sanders was born in 1997, and we're like, this guy's not over the hill.
Yeah,
his best years are behind him.
9 years younger than me. I'm like, this guy's dust. I'm like, yo, buddy, I'm still going to the gym and playing hockey every night. Like, come on, give yourself a chance.
It's crazy. All right, I hopped us into BBM 6 draft here, and lo and behold, a little influencer 101 for the fellas.
More people should try it. More people should try it.
Highly recommend. This is where John says, why don't we take Nico to flip the board?
Nobody's messing with these combos.
We were dangerously close to getting the worst pick on the board, which people are saying is the 102. So that's good.
No, let's see what, before you click it, Pete, let's make a guess on who, because JGFC is renowned to be a little crazy and stuff like that. And he flipped the board and took CMC there last time at the 102. Do you guys think he stays in his lane here, or is he going Galbrain on it?
I'll go light Galbrain. I'm going to say he's going to take Jahmyr Gibbs.
Ooh, fun.
I think he takes Saquon. He's a fan of the show. He heard us talking about the Saquon stuff.
Oh, snaps Jefferson.
He
Chalk
said that to
donk.
you guys.
What a chalk donk.
The JJFC on Best Ball Breakfast did a triple elite quarterback build there that had the chat in an uproar there. So always fun to see what JJFC cooks up.
That was a big first time .gif moment for me when I saw the chat in an uproar. Like, is this your first Best Ball Breakfast? This guy's been here every single Monday doing this.
Yeah, I will say that the numbers are higher on Best Ball Breakfast. So I think there's some new people who aren't familiar with the legends who frequent those drafts, but they learned on Monday.
Space is growing.
Yeah, we got in here, obviously JJFC. When I joined, there was only one spot left. So I don't know if people were anticipating, but I do see some non-badges in here as well, which sometimes is unusual for us on Off It on the Clock.
Yeah, these 30-second ones are much softer as far as like badges goes.
Yeah. Start Jamar Chase here. I will say, I don't know if you guys have noticed it in your drafts, the defenders of the Joe Burrow back to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase drafters in round 6, they've essentially waved the white flag. I think in like 90% of my drafts now, Joe Burrow is a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
that's how it should
awesome.
be.
Yeah. Have you not noticed that?
I haven't been like, so, I've been in like, I just been like in
auto egg chihuahuas.
Yeah. I've been in my Superflex slow draft. So like, I have like no point of reference right now. I just did like my first BBM in weeks this morning. But yeah, I didn't know. I'm glad that this is starting to happen if I ever get another 101, but we'll see here. I don't trust these guys though in the middle. Like somebody's going to time out on Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I'm completely, I mean, obviously if you like load it up, I think the best way to do it, honestly, if you're playing that angle is like take Marv or Trey McBride and then just either say, I'm going to get Joe Burrow in round 6, or I'm going to target Kyler in rounds 8 or 9, I think is kind of like my preferred way to play it. And then not, capitulate, just knowing now that so many teams are getting the Burrow 6-7.
Yeah. I mean,
wow, Tyreek Hill, pick 17
Whoa.
now. Life comes at you fast.
These are a couple fun starts on the right-hand side of the board here. I was just about to ask if there's a more fun start than Neighbors HN, like in terms of like ceiling combos on the right-hand side of the board. Is there a more fun start than that? Like Nico and Derrick Henry, that's Nez's favorite start right there. But
yeah,
like,
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of like ADP fallers that kind of give you combos that aren't as popular, I think like the Neighbors, Brian Thomas is like just getting the year two guys that just balled out last year, who could be like the Chase Jefferson 1-2 combo in the following year is pretty fun.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of Neighbors just because I keep taking Nico and I don't know. I don't want to be caught with my pants down without Neighbors, especially whenever I think Dart is a pretty fun pick too when you have the luxury pick in drafts. But as of right now, man, I am like, I have no Neighbors.
JSN goes at pick 22. Adams goes at pick 23. I'll pound the table for JT and then let you guys can literally say anything you want.
Just click them both. I mean,
JT and Bucky.
Yeah, I would just be like, you get 221 ADPs at the corner here.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice was falling earlier in the year.
What do you think?
I don't want to do T.
No, these are two great picks, man. I am starting to capitulate more on Bucky. I was at first kind of like team fade Bucky for Jacobs, but I will, hand up was like woefully unaware of how involved Bucky was in the passing game. Which, obviously like is a huge boost to overall success there. And the offense I think is going to be so sick. I've come around on Bucky, and this is a sick start.
This room's getting wild.
This is fun. This is fun. I also feel like the left-hand side of the board, like Nez and I have talked about this quite a bit with our drafting stuff, is on the right-hand side of the board. I feel very comfortable with like that pocket of running back that is like 4, 5, 6 round. Sometimes you get like a Kyron falling back. On the left side of the board, when the running backs get pushed up in the second round there, I do really feel like I'm like swimming upstream, because it's kind of like Mario Hampton in the fourth when it comes back kind of thing, or that's it. You're kind of like waiting, or you're pulling guys from the other side of the board over. I think that's why people are super bullish on like the back end draft slots right now. So having this unique faller of running back on the left hand side of the board, and now just being able to like pound, it feels really good.
For sure. Yeah. And it was multiple picks, right? It was 3 in a row that you normally don't see in the second round. Chase Brown goes 21, JSN 22, Devontae 23. And yeah, I had like obviously flagged JT right away as unique with the 101, and it hadn't even registered to me that that Bucky was there as well until you said that.
It's kind of weird that these running backs, like as far as like JT, Bucky, and Jacobs go, they go in a different order in Superflex, or at least they were, because Superflex is closed and it's only slows right now. That didn't really make sense to me. It was like Bucky, Jacobs, and JT, I'm pretty sure, was the order in Superflex for some reason.
Really?
Maybe a stack thing? I don't know.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Well, where did Baker line up?
Like pick 12, I think, or something.
Right.
Like he was like, yeah, he was going super early.
So maybe people forced it a bit, like to force like the stack with the Baker stuff.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it does kind of like with what John was saying too. I think it lines up ADP wise really well to get these two running backs here, because 4-5 turn, other than an Amari and Hampton fall, there's not a ton there at running back that feels good. 6-7 turn, I don't necessarily love that pocket for running back either. So man, getting the two there really sets you up nice. I think just where kind of the value pockets are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping for a Kyron fall or a Brees fall there, which like John and I have gotten on stream before, and those teams end up looking sick.
On the right hand side, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Solver series videos back to back. We got those in there.
Oh, that's right. I was like, yeah, where?
I haven't got to check that out yet. So you guys are recording those when you're on the clock in a slow or?
No, we're doing yeah. So we're doing some of the slows on the clock, and then we're doing some of like the ADP tracking tool or portfolio management tool stuff on the Best Ball Explorer, and then we do a live draft that we kind of just talk more freely than we normally would through.
Nice.
Yeah, no, this has been a lot of fun. Our drafts have been sick in there. So I think just the fact that we're not on stream has been pretty helpful to having better looking teams. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Yeah, I always remember that when I streamed all 150 of mine, and how even different times or different shows I did would have different vibes to the draft rooms. And it's like a best ball breakfast room versus Swolecast room, versus an after dark room or whatever. It is nice to draft at different times, and you get some natural variety that way.
Yeah.
We're like quite a few picks away, but I did just want to say, I said this with John without you on the show, Pete, but since you and I, maybe more so you, tied to your brand, we're like kind of anti Jack Besh in a large way. I think now that he's fallen 3 rounds, I think I'm willing to click his name now. I just wanted to put that on record in case anybody tries to yell at me when they see me take Jack Besh.
I've been taking him in the 160s. I've gotten multiple shares there. ADP 153 continues to fall. Like I'm definitely on board there. All right, let's buckle up here for the 4-5 turn. As anticipated, no running backs here other than Chuba. Hurts, Sutton, Pickens, Waddle. Waddle's week 16 opposite Chase, and week 17 opposite Miami, which is a kind of fun double whammy.
Yeah, I like Waddle and Pickens here.
Yeah, I think I like Waddle and Pickens most here.
Perfect.
Gives us stacking outs too. I mean, most guys do at this point in time, but
yeah,
I like the stacking outs. Maybe that's a better way of framing it.
Yeah. I like that as well. Yeah, the fun double dip with Waddle with the correlations, and then Pickens is just such a fun click. I think there was a quote from Dak today about him, but
Ooh, I need to find that.
It just if he can just keep his head on straight, I think he's just gonna have a monster year.
I know. I don't know how he doesn't. I just can't get my mind away from the fact that this is going to be the best offensive environment he's ever been in, and they're going to throw the ball a ton. I mean, he's just such a no-brainer for me right now, man. Like I have to tell myself not to take him whenever I'm in drafts.
Yeah, I feel similarly to that in a big way there. That's something we've talked about. Also, you throw in the kind of like random wild card of like Turpin, not that like he was going to take a bunch of stuff away, but he was going to take like some of that deeper threat or gadgety type stuff away. And then you throw in, his legal problems now, whether it turns into anything or not, but just even clearer runway.
Yeah.
Yep. This will be an interesting one. We'll see if JGFC doesn't have Higgins. Where did the Higgins end up going? Why am I? Oh wow, Higgins fell all the way to 31.
Oh no, that's bad news.
See, is it? Because I almost wonder if it's when it's closer, it seems way more of a value, right? If he slides all the way to 70, or maybe at 66, speed sees a shiny toy that he must have.
Okay. No, that's actually that's a good thought. That actually makes more sense.
Here's this quote is about Pickens, but at first I thought JGFC was just playing our blind item game. You turn on that guy's tape, he's getting separation. He's got separation, even when he's not getting the ball at times. And when he doesn't have separation, he's still making the catches. Take a drink for every time they said separation.
I didn't even think that was like his calling card. It was more so just like an amazing contested catch.
Right. Yeah. I thought that was the thing, is he doesn't get separation, but he doesn't need it.
Wow, he's separating now too.
Do you know what is your, like, when you, and I know Nez is probably more loaded as a Steelers fan, but like, what is the first thing you think of when you think of George Pickens?
You want me to go?
What is it? Yeah, you first.
Oh, it's the fight down the tunnel in the Georgia game. Like,
really?
Where he's just, instantly. Like, I just go, oh yeah, that dude's a dog. Like, he just beat the shit out of anybody, punch you in the mouth. It's also the fact that he took like a whole year off to nurse the injury, or like to recover from the injury, and then came back out of nowhere for like the SEC championship and was like, I'm just gutting this out. Yeah, Ron Artest vibes. That's so well put.
I always just think of him
meta world peace soon.
I would just think of him standing in front of the TV on draft night. That's always what I think of.
Yeah.
So I think of it's like a twofold thing. The iconic like parallel catch he had when he was like parallel to the ground, stretched out.
Yeah.
But part of the why I think about it, it's like a very moment in time. It was when NFL All Day had just released. And I remember being like, oh, this is the coolest moment that is on the site. And I was like, I remember like shopping around, like trying to find a good moment to buy the George Pickens catch. And so whenever I think of George Pickens, I always think of NFL All Day, which is just such an unfortunate parallel thought there.
That's pretty good.
I can't believe I didn't take off.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You stashed that one with the Fred VanVleet ones, Pete?
Yeah, the Fred FVVs are still in the vault.
There we go.
And it's going to become a true vault. I feel like at a certain point, I'm not even going to know how to log back in to access. Okay, speed does take Burrow. There
yeah, I mean that was we were kind of screwed either way. It's definitely not deterring me from taking Jamar Chase, but it definitely sucks, right? That like it's kind of tough to stack the 101 in a way that makes sense, because like stacking Burrow at the 4 or 5 with him is just not the move.
It's a hot. I don't know if it's a hot take. It doesn't deter me from taking Chase. It deters me from taking T, and it certainly deters me from taking them together.
I'm with you, John, with it. Like, I don't mind Alpha Chase by himself, just knowing he can go nuclear and Burrow can have like a 22-point game. But it's like, if you're doing the Chase and Higgins, like, you need Burrow absolutely ripping in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I think in a vacuum, if we just like ran the data on that and we did that with like obviously the Jalen Waddle, it's just one slate, bad sample size. from last year with like Tyreek and Waddle. But like I think it would come back to just be saying like it's way too much draft capital spent on, and they're like literally bad picks.
We're on the clock. I like Caleb Johnson a lot, and I've been warming up to Ricky Pearsall, open to Green Bay wide receivers. What do you
I
think?
like
Caleb
Golden. Okay, let's say Caleb. I'm not going
I
to
like Caleb.
say no. I'm not going to say no to Caleb.
I think we can all agree on Caleb, and then maybe this becomes a 4 running back team. I'm Team Nez here to take the ceiling shot on Golden over Pearsall, like just because I think he's better, but I'm happy with either of those two.
Yeah, I was seeing if there's any correlation stuff. JT week 16 against Pearsall, but I'm good with any of these guys.
Yeah, I really like Golden. I have trouble when I see his name. I just click him.
Dude, is it the same as the Tank Bigsby fallacy all over again? That like if his name was like Matthew Jones, like we wouldn't click him as much, but it's Matthew Golden, so we're like, fuck yeah, let's go.
I don't know, because his name is Matthew. If his name was like if his name was Tez Golden, he's a 1-2 pick.
Here's the part of the reason I've been a big Jawan bull and click him a ton, Kittle as well. But I've wanted to start to include Ricky there, basically from a CLV standpoint. I feel like very strongly that when the Ayuk pup stuff gets more finalized, Ayuk's going to drop, and Pearsall and Jawan are going to push up like pretty significantly. Like by that, I mean, I don't know, 8 to 10 picks. Like I think the market is going to become like wake up and become very bullish on like, holy shit, like, in the way that it's kind of being ignored right now. So I'm like, I've been a little hesitant about Ricky, and I've been taking the Green Bay wide receivers over him until now, where I'm like, let me get my Ricky now. We've already seen what happens when Kittle moves up. It's going to happen for these guys. So I'm just like, when he's at ADP, I'll take him, and then I'll let him go when he's going like pick 64, in a month or whatever.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I'm with you, Pete, and I will say too, just to kind of like bolster that point too, is like Jawan has moved up quite a bit. And I don't know how much more room Jawan has to move. Like, can he? Like, there's some pretty strong resistance in front of him. Like, will he flip Rome Odunze when that news hits? Probably. Will he flip Travis Hunter? Potentially. Will he flip Zay? I don't know. Like the Zay Sutton Ridley resistance there is pretty strong in my opinion. But Ridley, I think, has a ton of room to run, right? There's a lot of guys I can see, or Pearsall rather. Ricky Pearsall has a ton of room to run, I think. And like, and even Kittle, I think, is facing some strong resistance by those running backs.
I agree. Yeah, I think you factor in, everyone's worried about the Cleveland quarterback situation with Judy. Addison is going to get hit with a suspension. Everyone thinks Deebo Samuel is fat and over the hill. Everyone's terrified about Chris Olave's concussions and his quarterback situation. Godwin, people are kind of neutral on, but he's the most expensive there. Like a wide receiver can rocket up through that range.
Yeah, Ricky totally can, for sure. And even the Green Bay guys, I think to obviously they have less hard news that can really shift that. But I think, if there's more news that comes out about, Jordan Love was playing hurt, or wow, Golden looks incredible, Jaden Reed looks incredible, we're thinking about using Jaden Reed in more 2 wide receiver sets. Just that tier in general, Pete, like you said, is super fragile and could be totally shifted into the 7th round. I agree.
And look, we will not say out loud what Nick commented on stream. So audio listeners, you're going to have to tune into the stream at the 58-minute mark to see this comment, because we are going to pass the challenge of talking about Ricky Pearsall without relying on this crutch of a talking point. We did it, guys. We did it.
Way to go, us. I think it's a fun question right below that too. Like, who you guys just think scores straight up more? Like, I've been gravitating in recent memory taking Golden over Reed. I don't know if I'm easy sheet pilled like our community tends to be here, but like, Matt Harmon had some, decently bullish things to say on like Jaden Reed and his ability to run routes and how they're kind of like using him wrong. We think of him as like, kind of Debo-esque gadgety, and last year on Off and On the Clock, we played that rushing stuff for him so frequently, right? Because of how he was used. But like, I don't know. What if he can just like win and be that? I mean, maybe not a traditional X, but like, what if he can just be that WR1? Like, is it crazy that we're just crowning Golden that guy already?
I think my thought too is like, I actually don't think they're super negatively correlated, right? Like, I think there's room. Like, to me, it's more about like that philosophical shift with the offense. You mentioned the splits with Jordan Love injured and not. They just completely rely on Jacobs. Let's make these picks, and then we can talk more about the Green Bay wide receivers here.
We have the Ricky challenge right in front of us, who I don't take.
The Ricky,
I don't take Brian Robinson. Brian
Robinson.
Can you scroll like past this group of players unless you want to take somebody there, John?
I like Kupp. I think Kupp's an end of a tier. Like, I'm totally fine taking Kupp as a 5th wide receiver.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm fine with that. I mean, B-Rob is Oppo. George Pickens, week 17. But I'm also, if we think about our quarterback outs, we could use like a high upside quarterback out. If you guys want to do like a Fields or a Bo Nix, that could be an option, or we just grab a running back.
I'd do Baker with Bucky and then tack on Cade Otton and do it across from Jalen Waddle.
Okay.
I haven't done any Baker with Bucky. I don't mind playing that angle. McMillan, I think, in play as well.
Yeah, no, I'm into that. I think when with a guy like Baker too, with all the weapons around him, it obviously, like, taking quarterback without a premier pass catcher, it doesn't have a good feeling tied to it. But the fact that there are so many pass catchers there with Baker, like, it could be, a spread out type of thing, for him. At the end of the day, like, he's putting up points, like he's scoring points for us. He's going to be a good pick.
And we talked about that in season with like battle royale stuff, and how Baker counterintuitively in like when Nerdy Tenor was running his sims, was one of those quarterbacks that would actually pop up as being optimal unstacked. And it starts to warp your brain. You're like, wait, the pocket passer who has these great wide receivers, why wouldn't you stack them? But it's because it's so spread out that if you have, 3 guys scoring, 15 points a game, and none of them are ever going off for 30 plus or whatever, the stacking dynamic, at least on a weekly basis. I'm not saying I'm passing on Baker, Godwin and Evans stacks in season long because of that, but it is I think a good nudge of like, you can play these guys with maybe unconventional stacks, like we're cooking up here, where we're just saying, hey, they crush again, and we're going to have some Bucky weeks, and we're going to have some Baker weeks.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I know we just made the pick, so we're obviously like kind of coping our way around like why it's okay to take Baker without his pass catchers, but like I believe that, I think that the offense is going to be sick.
Yeah. So here's the team so far for our audio listeners. Baker Mayfield at quarterback, JT, Bucky Irving, Caleb, wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, George Pickens, Matthew Golden, Cooper Kupp. The other thing about it too is it's also probably like a little hard to pull it off, just because getting Bucky at the turn and getting, Baker at the turn, generally isn't going to be something that happens there.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about too, what was in my head. I couldn't remember like where like Pat said this, but like it was just on your Best Ball Breakfast, where he was kind of talking through the sims and what their sims kind of like say when you're drafting sometimes. And it's, the chip meme, like, just take the best players. Got it. Like, if this guy's going to score more points and provide the most value to your team, sometimes you just take the guy that's going to score the most points. Like,
I heard that and I instantly equated it to just like the IQ meme that we all reference, right? And in the middle is like, run 10,000 simulations, do this, and it's like, score the most points over here. But I have had a lot of fun doing the sim stuff. Like we showcased it on our show. What was that, on Thursday, Nez? Yeah, Thursday last week. And that was our first time using the Sidekick Sims on the show. And it's very interesting because it does kind of put you into, because it can't think for you, right? So it pigeonholes you into some like tough spots, but you still come out ahead with some nice roster constructions in just randomly trusting it too, right? So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's dig into this just a little bit more for Gillis here. Hopefully I'm saying that right. What's the difference between taking a QB with a running back for correlation compared to quarterback with wide receiver? I know quarterback wide receiver is good, but how good is quarterback running back? and this gets into the age-old, on a play-by-play and a game-level basis, the correlation is going to be much stronger with the quarterback and wide receiver, right? And it makes intuitive sense. When they throw, those points are directly correlated, happening on the same play. With the running back, there is the element of that. Like, Bucky's going to catch some balls. Like, Bucky can take a screen pass to the house. So, like, you're not completely not getting the single game correlation there. But the phrase the best ball bros like to toss around with the QB running back is on a season-long basis in this ping-ponging effect, where if the offense crushes, and the Eagles were a really good example of this last year. There were weeks Jalen Hurts was the QB1 and Barkley was a little more mid, and there was weeks Barkley went nuts and Hurts was a little more mid. But you were still capturing the overall production on one of the best offenses in football. So I think there's an extent that you can do this here with these guys where you think, hey, Baker has a week 15, throws 5 touchdown passes to 4 different guys. Bucky kind of chills. You get that Baker team through, and then you have Bucky go off. So we talk about that a little bit more. We should probably think about one other quarterback here if we want to do Love, because Dak got sniped. Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted Dak on this team, but Love's a good consolation prize.
Me too.
Now that Njoku a lot. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say the same thing as you, Nez, that I do view Njoku as like kind of a bit of a tier, unless you want to go with 3.
Is Kraft here?
We still might go.
Kraft is here. Do you want to double that? I haven't been getting a lot of Kraft.
Yeah, let's take Kraft.
I'm with you. I like Njoku a lot. I have an embarrassing confession that I'm almost like one Brown in every draft. Whether it's Judy.
That's your truth serum.
I think Judy, Njoku, or Sampson. I mean, Tillman, I don't go out of my way to get, but of those 3, I've been really liking those guys. But yeah, I think on this team, getting that double with Love makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I think totally.
I think my dream there, like that I was mentally planning, if you guys were going to be on board or not, would have been Dak, Njoku, and then get Ferg after. And then you have Cade Otton as kind of a luxury if you put the 3rd tight end on the roster. But that's a good consolation prize. And it's probably way sharper to do the Jordan Love Kraft thing than just blindly taking Njoku there.
Yeah, and it's funny when you take Pickens, because it almost ends up being it's really funny with say if you get Addison here, you get Pickens, you run into the same Burrow quarterback dynamic as you do with Dak and McCarthy, where it's like the Jefferson drafter isn't letting McCarthy slip, the Dak drafter isn't letting him slip, so you do get boxed out of those stacks from the one hole.
Yeah, absolutely. And like where I take Baker, like I have just like reached, right? So like you see like after Baker, but like after Baker it goes like Dak and just all those guys that were just on the board. I have no problem taking Dak over those guys because I think that he can outscore them this year. Like I think that is just a pretty flat tier that has like an arbitrary ranking in my opinion. And one of the like I'm fading Fields and Knicks, I think the most out of that tier between like Baker and Jordan Love. Like that is such like a tier to me. And like I said, I think I'm, and it hurts to say, but I am, I think fading Fields probably the most out of this group.
Yeah, I think I would put Fields up a little closer to the Baker side of the equation there than you would, Nez. But then that kind of Bo Nix, Caleb, Drake, Goff, Dak, like Love, I'll take any of them in any order if it makes sense to me. That one doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. I like the instances I tend to like. Obviously, if I have Wilson, I like Fields. But even then, too, if the room feels very quarterback hungry and or I had a Terry, I had an AJ Brown, I had a Khalil Shakur, and it's like I have limited stacking options to build around, then I'm like, I like Justin Fields. Like, let me get a guy that I don't have to stack. I'll tack on, 1 or 2 of Braylon Allen and Mason Taylor. And like, this will be the way I play Fields.
Yeah. I love when somebody clearly joins late in the chat.
If the answer is Deontay.
Love it.
We're like
nailed it.
Interstellar, like watching from the from the bookshelf. No.
Good reference.
Sorry,
it is. Great. They those are fun too. Like I I did the Jeopardy thing, and you put the chat away for the game, but like then they answer the question in the chat, is just like everybody guessing with it. It always reminds me like it was like short form improv games, and a lot of times, you bring a guest up on stage, and like when you first watch, they'll ask a question or you're trying to name things or whatever. And the person on stage is, they're struggling. And for you in the audience where you have nothing else to think about other than the answer, there's no pressure, there's no lights on you. It's just the easiest thing in the world. It's like, how the fuck do you not know that? And then you go sit in that chair and it's like, all of a sudden my entire brain goes blank and I can't think of anything.
Yeah. I couldn't name Scandinavian baby items. I had no idea.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't think of Scandinavian words. I mean, like I couldn't even tell you. And then I have a Duna, and like I could have said that.
Yup, that's how it goes. All right, let's check in here. So that last turn we did the Baker with Bucky. We also have the Waddle bring back, and then we did the Jordan Love and Kraft to tack on with Matthew Golden. So we got 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 1 tight end. So in good shape here, positionally, those 5 wide receivers in the top 100, running back room solid, quarterback room solid, and then probably going to be a 3 tight end build, but Tucker Kraft perfectly fine as your tight end 1.
Yeah, his team's nasty right now. I actually really like this team.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
Yeah. This end of the here down draft window where we talk about, or Pat talks about every player being worth, $1 at that tipping point of like whatever, round 15, call it, that sort of deal. This is where I get a little nervous with, we got this GM cooking, like how gal brain do we get in the moment kind of thing.
Well, I was going to bring up like the Rashad White thing. Would this be a spot you do the Rashad White with Bucky?
Why don't I hate it? Is it a trap?
We could also do Jaden Blue with Pickens.
I'd rather do Blue with Pickens, I think.
Okay.
I'll put that in. Let's not completely rule it out. Wide receiver, we're in kind of a tough range here. Tillman, QJ. You could just reach for Dobbs, who may or may not come back if you want to triple Love.
What do we got tight end wise?
Tight end, we're in this dead range. Jonnu, and then 14 more picks until Pitts.
What about Benson for the Chase correlation and upside swing? If you just
I like it more than the Hancock idea. I think we're done at running back after we do that, though.
Yeah.
I think
what's
so.
that? 5?
Yeah. 5. The 3 or 2 early, 2 rookies, and then the pure handcuff. I think that's a pretty solid 5 running back room.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a very fun room.
Good call on the Benson opposite Chase, and a nice little slide there, 138 to 145. I think that works out nicely.
Yeah, I'm a Benson bull, man. I think he's good. It's just like I don't think that he's gonna I don't know how much of a standalone role he's gonna have with Connor healthy. But I do think that Benson has some big playability in him.
Yeah.
Just looks fast.
The Benson, like the one take, and it's because this has been one of our collective favorite players whenever we do drafts. It's like I've had a really hard time with Charbonnet just relative to some of these other contingent back upsides, where I do think like the Benson bet is like very, very similar to the Sharp bet and arguably better in that Connor's age, compared to Walker's. I guess people could argue Walker is more injury prone or whatever, but I think Benson is like a near bell cow.
Dude, Benson's a smash in the weighting. I mean, this dude ran a 4.39. He's 6 feet. He's 6 foot tall, like 216. Like he's got everything that you want, man. Just not the role yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go.
4 rounds later than Sharps. Yeah,
I know.
As you alluded to.
Yep. Another a little tease for the Eliminator video too. Like Sharps takes such a hit. These guys where the whole reason we like Sharps in BBM is because it's like bam, late season, Walker's wear and tear, give us bell cow Sharps for 15 through 17. in Eliminator, if you make it to week 15, you're already banking $20,000. But Zach Charbonnet might not have been able to help you get there through the first 6 or so weeks.
Pete, I said it like so often. I can't wait for this video. I'm so excited for this. I
am.
You really got me hype on it.
Hopefully, I haven't overhyped it. It is fun. I kind of, I've done like the strategy videos before and the draft videos, and this one's like I mashed it up. So like the first 25 minutes is like the strategy, and then I hop in a draft and try to like kind of accomplish the strategy angles there. So yeah, it's like a 50-minute video. So and Chris, yeah, because it's like 25 minutes strategy and 25 minutes draft.
Okay.
So, and Chris crushed it with the graphics and stuff. So yes, I'm literally right after the show, I'm going to go publish it on Deposit Kingdom. So you guys can check it out.
I mean, it's just littered with, arbitrage and game theory. So I'm just excited.
Well, I think I'm going to probably write about it for the PO box this week when I write up my newsletter, but it was like working on the video is the most fun I've had since like thinking about week 17 and that initial like light bulb moment of like this is like DFS and all of that. And I don't know, it makes me think too, people love to draft the same stuff over and over again, but I think for the ecosystem to grow and evolve, like these alternative formats are like so I don't even want to say like good, I want to say like necessary, for like the health of it. And John,
for sure,
agree from like poker standpoint too, but I'm like just getting so jacked up for thinking about a new format as opposed to just like, we're not solved in BBM, but like a lot of the inefficiencies are dried up.
Right. Yeah. Like we're playing No Limit Hold'em over and over and over again.
Yeah. Which is fun, but it's also really fun to think about a different game.
Let's play a little PLO. I think I got a really good comp. Oh, let's save it for after the pick.
Okay. Yes. Let's see here. So we got a 2-5-5-1 going here. I think we should do Jalen McMillan for sure.
Yes.
I'm open to whatever else though.
That's nice that we didn't take Rashad now.
Yeah, for sure.
You could also do Kate Otten as well to do the tight end thingy.
We could double it, or you could do Ertz opposite. Yeah. I
don't like Ertz, to be honest. I'm just I'll overrule on Ertz. I think McMillions and Otten is cool. Or another wide receiver, or even do we have a quarterback available? Sorry,
the other thing I was going to say was Tua with Waddle, but then you have 2 week 17 game ones. But Otten might come back. Yeah,
it opens up Waller, which is I know crazy. I'm saying that.
That's a crazy fall. Sorry, I totally forgot we had Waddle.
Yeah.
Let's take advantage of that. We have Waddle 149 to 169, 20 pick fall. And I do think that 2 quarterback from the same game things is mitigated a little bit when you have the 3 quarterbacks, right? As opposed to having both your eggs in the same basket. We still have the out to the Love game as well.
Yeah. This is fun.
I've been, so I finally did a little bit more of like a deep dive on Pat Bryant as opposed to just kind of like listening to somebody that I trust and their words on Pat Bryant. I think Pat Bryant's about to fall. I think we're already kind of witnessing the fall of Pat Bryant here. He was going at this, like in round 14 pretty often. I definitely feel like it's less cut and dry that he's on the field a bunch. I was watching like one of like Matt Harmon's videos on him and then like, I like to watch some film, it's highlights, but I like to kind of just like try to keep an objective eye with looking at that. And really like the TLDR from what I gathered is like Pat Bryant is like not a separator. And he also runs like a 4.6 40. So I do have just like some concerns. Like, can he just be like a finesse physical, just like put the ball up and I'll grab it guy? I think that's a difficult bet to make, I think.
Yeah, when's the last time Sean Payton just let a rookie wide receiver play football?
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, I've clicked Bryant a lot, but even today on the Swolecast, I mentioned Troy Franklin. Mims is now getting a lot cheaper. Like I've gotten Mims in the 150s at some points too. So I still really I don't mind the price on Pat Bryant here, 172. I don't think it's like crazy or anything, but I do want to spread out my bets on those Denver pass catchers because it's the epitome of ambiguity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Troy Franklin is interesting for a late round pick if you have a Knicks team for sure.
All right, you guys ready for comp guy?
Yeah.
Trey Benson, this year's Chuba Hubbard. Everyone forgot that he was supposed to be RB1, maybe RB2 in the class of the previous draft year. He has an underwhelming rookie year. They still address the running back position, i.e., give James Conner the extension. In Chuba's fashion, it was drafting Brooks. And then they're both, 6'1", 220, and they're both, third and fourth round guys who then merge into a bell cow role who can also catch passes.
I guess the comp of needing the injury, right? As opposed, because that's the one thing where heading into the season, because James Conner is just such a dog, and is not going to ever go away lightly.
How about this? Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm asking for some help here. And this is super ambitious. Also, didn't David Johnson wasn't he kind of blocked by by a running back whenever he was on the Cardinals in his second year? But we knew that David Johnson could fucking play, but he had a back in front of him. Is he just simply David Johnson, who was one of the best running backs for a moment in time?
I mean,
David Johnson. Did Johnson break out as a rookie though? Did he come on halfway through the season?
I think it was year 2, or
was it year 2?
half of year 2, and then all of year 3 or something. I'll look it up.
I knew when he broke out, it was halfway through the season. I just couldn't remember if it was rookie or sophomore year.
Oh no, it was rookie year. It was halfway through the rookie year. 121 touches for 581 and 2 scores. Then he full breaks out the following year with the 1,200 yards, the 16 scores, plus all the receiving work, 80 catches, 800 yards. Wow. And then he gets injured at the tail end, or he gets injured the first game of the next year, and then was never the same. And that was
I'll never forget that. Yeah, that broken wrist, dude. That was heartbreaking because I had him in my big home league, and just game 1 losing that. God, that sucked so bad.
So we have a 3-5-6-1 here. We're done at quarterback. We're done at running back. One of these picks definitely should be a tight end, if not 2. And then we could play around with a final wide receiver selection, depending on how we like it. I think that one of them has to be Waller.
Good with it.
All right.
Let's just pick our favorite tight end then. I know Nez likes Sanders or Theo Johnson or something. Let's just roll and take one if we don't love a wide receiver more.
I do think the wide receivers here are a smidge better than they normally are. Wandell and Michael Wilson falling pretty good. We could do Wilson with Benson.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Do a little play that, Chase, Wilson, Benson in that Week 17 game.
Comp guy again.
Who?
Michael Wilson, Nico Collins.
Year
3 breakout.
Wow.
Chiseled out of granite.
Physical specimen.
Yep.
I think this sets us up really well, and then we can pick who we want our third tight end to be. Probably a rookie or an upside kind of crack, I would say, with Kraft and Waller.
Yeah, Theo.
He makes it back quite a bit, man, and I'm surprised.
Or a Rondé Gadsden, who I don't know if you heard some of the Coachspeak on.
Who they're saying might be the best player to ever put on pads.
To ever grace our presence.
Guys naming dudes. So, Nez, the size for David Johnson and the pass catching ability was spot on, 6'1", 224. That. And draft capital, 3rd round, 86th overall there. Guys naming dudes at the bar, David Johnson's nickname.
What? Can I have a hint?
It rhymes.
Is it impossible?
It rhymes. 2 words and they rhyme. I completely forgot about it. Same era as like Doug Martin being like the muscle hamster.
Muscle hamster.
Yeah, like that.
I'm not
I can't remember.
The Humble Rumble.
Wow. It's an awful nickname, but it's hilarious.
That's
Here comes the Humble Rumble.
Humble Rumble. He's so nice. Everybody likes him, and he doesn't talk much about himself, but he'll run you over.
That is like back-to-back Muscle Hamster, which is probably one of the greatest nicknames in the history of sports, followed by the Humble Rumble.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's hilarious.
Dude, 2016 David Johnson, 20 touchdowns, 2,000 scrimmage yards. Special.
Dude, I what was that game called that I played on stream for everybody that I got addicted to for half an hour, where you had to make the lowest and high scoring team? I can't remember what it is called now.
I forget.
Oh yeah, what was that thing? I saw you guys posting screenshots in the Discord, and I never looked into what it was or like how you even played it.
NFL Parry, that's what it was.
Okay.
NFL Parry, and I got addicted to making the lower. Shocking development.
You playing low ball, yeah.
The grossest teams. And I found out like, Kadarius Toney had like a minus that you could sneak into the lineup and stuff. Anyways, David Johnson, I think he wasn't optimal, but he was like a top 12, I think it was top 8 running back season ever. With
All
that
right.
season.
I didn't realize how good was it Brian Westbrook's best season was?
Yeah, like 22, 25 season ever.
Yeah. Do you remember that, Pete? Because that took me by surprise.
Was that like late 2000s?
So this was 2007.
Yeah.
Brian Westbrook, Pete, 1,333 yards on the ground with 7 touchdowns. That's an awesome season. He caught 90 footballs for 700 yards and 5 touchdowns too.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It kind of makes sense why we all.
I had no idea.
That was literally
right now. I can tell. Sorry,
it's all right. That was the year before I started playing fantasy football, so that's why I don't have strong memories of that one. Because I played 2008, which was I had D'Angelo Williams on my team. Who it was the like Thunder and Lightning. Him and Jay Stu were like ripping up the league in 2008.
That era is why everybody became obsessed with these like all-purpose running backs that could pass catch as well, like the CJ Spillers of the world was in that same area. And
all right, John. Oh, here's Nez back. So we are 3 picks away. We're going to grab a tight end. A lot of stuff has gotten wiped. Juwan Johnson is the safe option. I'm kind of inclined with one of the rookies, Ferguson, Arroyo, Fannin. What are you guys thinking?
I think Arroyo is interesting. Ferg is interesting too, but they on one side of the mouth, they talk about Ferg being great. And on the other side, they're like, he's like the heir apparent and like not about to usurp Tyler Higbee.
The Fannin does, we have the same bye week issues with all 3. Fannin plays Caleb Johnson in week 17. Arroyo's opposite JT week 15. John, you want to break the tie? I think I'm Fannin. Nez is Arroyo.
One Brown on every roster.
Okay. All right. You're going to let me keep it. Even though I hadn't been
great fit.
I've done a little Fannin. The Fannin Bulls are very strong Fannin Bulls. Obviously, the guys over at RotoViz, Sean is extremely high on him, so I don't mind kind of blindly tailing some Browns optimism there, which seems crazy to say.
Just tight end 3.
Just tight end 3. Yeah, I do think with like Waller in Kraft, it definitely made sense to take a crack there.
Yeah, that was a fun pick.
All right, fellas, we did this is my 63rd Best Ball Mania team, getting an OOTC in here. The classic 3-5-7-3. We get Miami in Tampa Bay. Here's the full squad, and you can give me your thoughts. Baker, Jordan Love, Tua, nice little on Tua there. Jonathan Taylor, Bucky Irving, looks rare. Caleb Johnson, Jaden Blue, Trey Benson, the heir apparent to the humble rumble. Wide receiver Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, George Pickens, Matthew Golden, Cooper Kupp, because John needs one, Seahawk in every draft, Jalen McMillan, Michael Wilson, and then 3 tight ends, Tucker Kraft, Darren fucking Waller, and Harold Fannin. Dare I say, a fun team, guys.
This is an absolute all the funky positions on the Fucks scale versus the Sox. This is a good team. This might be my favorite BBM team this year.
This is a lot of fun, man. I don't do a lot of Jaden Blue, but when I do, I like that he's, insulated by some good running backs around him. The wide receiver room, obviously, when you get Jamar Chase, is fun. The tight ends correlate with a little bit of upside. This team rules, dude.
I love getting the we were talking with Gillis in the chat there, was mentioning some of the running back wide receiver pairings as well, like Benson with Wilson, Jaden Blue with Pickens. Like, our team bets are very concentrated here. Miami, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Dallas, Arizona, along with, some nice week 17 correlation there.
Yeah, it's rock solid. That's a good looking team.
Ship it.
Last thing before on the David Johnson train. He gets zero carries in week 1 that year. There's 2 running backs in front of him on the depth chart. One is a former Giant, I believe, like pretty sure, or became a Giant after. And then the other is a fringe Hall of Famer on his last legs. Who were the 2 players?
Chris Johnson.
Yep.
I know this other running back, and it's gonna drive me crazy. It's tipping my fucking tongue right now.
Okay, I lied. It was Houston Texans his very last year. It was not a Giant as his last year.
Houston Texans as his last year?
Yeah, he played 5 years with Arizona, rookie deal. Then at 28, went to Houston, and that was it.
Fuck, he's like number 33 or something.
I don't know how to check that. No,
30s.
38. Yes.
Yeah, 30.
38, 5'9", 200 pounds with dreads, long dreads.
Oh, was it Andre Ellington?
Andre Ellington.
Okay. Yeah,
that's right.
There you go.
Yep, I remember him.
Guys naming dudes.
Also,
Dude,
real quick, before I go off the screen, we got the new look, Underdog, now looking a lot more like the app interface. They're like literally refreshed on me as I went through our team, but looking pretty slick up here.
Yeah,
nice. Let's see what the lobby looks like, Pete. This interface looks great.
The lobby,
drafts
yeah,
look
look
clean
at that
too.
I like the
little
the progress bar. It's very slick.
I like the font change too. Font changed.
They ran this yesterday, and they had to. Okay, this is what I was looking for. The tiles, the main tiles, like they just were all black, but they added the slight background, which I was like, just do that, and it looks good. So
yeah, this looks clean as hell. Big fan.
Yep, love it. Shout out Underdog. What do you guys got cooking? Are you running MLB today?
Yeah, I'm going to do members only right after this. It started 5 minutes ago, but everybody who's here, you'll be funneled right over there and redirected. So do 9 games MLB, and then tomorrow we're going to try and simulcast, or if not, we'll be on the Coachspeak Index channel there. So nothing on our main channel. We're doing 3 hours with him or something, monster show.
Wow. Looking forward to that. Anything else for you, Nez?
No. Check out John on the baseball show. It's a good slate. So
Barges and fries, baby. Another pick 'em home last night.
Yeah, well, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You guys start DMing me these. Come on.
Watch the show.
Watch the show, Pete.
Watch the show, Pete.
Some of us have a life. I can't just be watching the Badge Bros all day.
Respect our viewers.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna go post that video now. Check that out. Otherwise, tomorrow, Best Ball Bash and Randomizer with Andrew Cooper. Have never done a show with him. Super sharp, award-winning fantasy analyst. We got some fun prompts for him tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys all for hanging out for Off and On the Clock. I think next week we probably will do an eliminator draft. I want to get your guys' thoughts as we start to get some of these ideas on their feet. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Off and On the Clock. Peace.